Greetings! In a previous video, we said that for every academic essay, readers expect to see the sources from which you borrowed ideas or obtained information. These sources are called citations. They also expect to see that your citations are organized according to the accepted guidelines contained in a style manual chosen by your university or by the professionals of the subject. In this video, we are going to answer this question. What is citations? How do we cite? What is a style manual? How do we use the style manual to cite? Remember that there are many other videos explaining how to cite, and you should be free to use them in addition to this one. You will find links to some of those videos in the description below this video. What is citation? Citation is giving credit to people whose work we refer to either by summarizing, paraphrasing, or making a direct quote. Why do we cite? We cite to be ethical. When we quote other people, we need to give credit where it's due. We cite to be authoritative. When we cite what others have said, it shows that we have done the research, and therefore it gives us credibility as researchers. We cite to be generous. By citing, we are sharing with our readers the sources we read, in case our readers want to follow up on something we have cited. We cite to be compelling. When we cite information, we make our essays persuasive because we are using information beyond our opinions. We cite to be interesting. When we cite different people, we vary the voices and tone in our writing, which makes our writing more interesting to read. We cite to be precise. Citation spares us from having to repeat the same information, especially when that information is background information rather than central to our point. If readers want to know more about a particular event or argument that is not central to our essay, they can read the source on their own. How do we cite? We get guidelines from the Manual of Style. Our manual of choice is APA. APA refers to the American Psychological Association. What is a style manual? A style manual is a book that provides the standards that all writers of an institution or a profession follow in their writing. The manual focuses on the elements of expressions such as language and grammar. It also focuses on the elements of formatting such as layout, expression, and graphics. Why do we bother with style? We bother with style to be part of a writing community, to make it easier for readers to locate information and to follow guidelines. What information should we expect from a style manual? The manual gives guidelines on how to write in terms of grammar, paragraphing, or punctuation. The manual tells us how to cite different types of material. The manual tells us how to format our paper, like what font size and font type to use for headings or text, the type of paragraph or page numbers to use. We can expect the manual to tell us how to list references. We can expect to see sample academic papers in a manual. How do we cite sources in our essays? Within the main text of the essay, we can make a direct quote, paraphrase, or reference to a source. We must mention the name or the names of the author or authors, the year of publication, and the page number from where we got the quote for documents with pages. This is called in-text citation. At the end of the essay, we include the full publication details of the sources in the reference list. This citation is called a reference. Before we look for how to cite a source, we need to find out some information about the source we are citing. The first information we need is the name or names of the author or authors. Before consulting the manual, you need to determine if the source author is a single author or the multiple authors, and if so, how many. If the book is edited, meaning that the person credited for the book collected materials from different authors, if the author is an institution like Daystar University, if the author is a translator of a work written by someone else, or if there is no author. Kindly note that common knowledge does not need citation. For example, commonly used proverbs and expressions. However, a link on how to distinguish what needs to be cited from what does not need citing can be found in the description below this video. The second information we need for a citation is the title of the source we are citing, whether it's a publication or a unit of the publication. A unit could be a chapter in a book, a song in an album, an article in a journal or newspaper, or an entry in an encyclopedia. We also need to know if the publication we are citing is a translation or a different edition of the same title. The third information we need to know is how often the publication is cited. Is the publication published hourly, like social media, daily, like a newspaper, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly, like journals, magazines, and reports? Or are they standalone publications like books? What is the date of the publication? Is it an ancient text written centuries ago? Or is it a recent publication? Or is the date not indicated? The last piece of information we need is who is the publisher of the source. The publisher is the company that is responsible for printing or recording the source you're using. Once we have identified this information, we need to use it to locate instructions in the manual of how to cite our source. First, we determine what type of publication we are citing. Is it a book, an online newspaper, an article, a poster, a film, a TV series, academic journal, or thesis? Next, we use the search button for manuals online or the table of contents or index for manuals in print to locate the guidelines for citing the source. Once we locate the guidelines, we pay attention to the font and punctuation in the citation: full stop, parenthesis, space, italics, line spacing. For every citation, the manual gives an example to illustrate. Let's take this source for example. Imagine we have read this chapter by Mshai Mwangola and we want to cite a sentence from the chapter and we want to put the source in the reference list. All sources we cite in the essay must appear in the reference. To cite the sentence in the essay, we need to go to APA and look for in-text citations. Since we want to quote words from the text, we look for the explanation on quotations. In this explanation, we are told that we can include the author's name in the sentence or include it in the parentheses, or what Kenyans call brackets. So our job is to adapt the quotation to the examples given. Let's say we want to quote these words. We can do it this way, or we can do it this way. Make sure you follow the explanation of how to cite from the manual. If you're not sure, look at the examples given. The next thing we need to do is to put the source we cited in the reference list. We need to determine what kind of source we are citing. In our case, we are citing only the chapter written by Dr. Mwangola. That means the unit is her chapter and the text is an edited book. So we go to the APA style manual and look for how to cite a chapter in an edited book. So we look for the section in APA on books and scroll down to the section on article or chapter in an edited book. We are given an example and the information we need to write the reference, which is 1. The author of the chapter, 2. The year of publication, 3. The title of the chapter, 4. The name of the editor, 5. The title of the edited book. Note that this title is in italics. 6. The pages of the chapter. 7. The publisher. Also note which letters are capital letters and which ones are in small caps. If you do not know the difference between big and small caps, a link is provided below. Also note the punctuation. Commas and periods, or what Kenyans call full stops, are followed by spaces. In Dr. Mwangola's chapter, here is the information we are looking for. The page numbers are indicated in the table of contents. The first page is the page on which the chapter starts, which is 1 in this case. The last page is the page before the one which the second chapter starts. So since chapter 2 starts on page 25, chapter 1 ends on page 24. So this is the example we were given in APA. Our reference to Dr. Mwangola's chapter will look like this. The rules for citation seem many. How can we remember them all? Do not fear. We cannot cram all the rules. We need to keep consulting the manual, just like we do with the Bible, with a dictionary, or with Google. Bookmark good websites that you can consult on APA, such as Online Writing Lab of the University of Purdue. There are also many tutorials on YouTube that explain how to cite in APA. Make sure you search for APA 7th edition because there are previous editions of APA, but we are using the 7th edition. You may also consult the Writing and Speech Center at Daystar University. The Writing and Speech Center has students who have been trained to help their fellow students in improving their expression and formatting of their work. These students, called peer tutors, will not do the work for you, but will show you how to do the work. This service is free for students of Daystar University. We can automatically generate citations through software such as Zotero. Also, we can download citations from databases, and many databases allow us to choose the style in which we download citations. However, it is important to remember that such software or databases do not get everything correct, and you still need to verify if the citations are properly done before submitting your work. That is why it's important for you to understand how the manual works. Thank you for watching.